Welcome to the Elite Podcast Network, home of the #1 independent wrestling coverage, available on iTunes, Stitcher, blogtalk Radio, and wherever you get your podcasts from. Follow us on Twitter at Elite Podcast Net and join the revolution now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to WrestlingHeads Radio. It's me, Oscar, taking over this show tonight, but I'm not the only one taking over the show tonight. I got my man from the NYC, Mr. Hope he doesn't blow it like his New York Giants, Mr. Tom. What's going on, Tom?
Why do you always got to remind me? I'm trying to forget and move on. I'm trying to move on from that, but I'm doing good. A lot of stuff going on. Got a big show tonight, so I think we need to get it rolling.
Yep, two, you could say pay-per-views happened over the weekend, and Monday Night Raw just happened, but we can talk all that later on. But tonight, we have a special guest here tonight, and as this Friday, we noticed that there's going to be a show going on in Virginia, and we have a special guest with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the matchmaker for Nova Pro Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike King. What's going on, Mike? Mike, you there? Hold on. Wait a minute. His mic is off. Let me get a second. Mike, are you in there?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay, so sorry for that. Somehow the mic went to mute, but if any, I really apologize for that. How's your evening so far, sir?
Yeah, well, man, going pretty well. Getting excited, getting pumped for this Friday night.
Yes, we'd like to talk about your promotion this Friday night. Maybe you can explain to our listeners. In case they're not familiar with Nova Pro Wrestling, explain what it's all about, and who do you have on your show coming up this Friday, and maybe people that's around the Virginia area, or maybe they could either nearby or drive down. Maybe they'll come down to the show this Friday night. Is there maybe you can explain to our listeners about your promotion?
Well, what Nova Pro Wrestling stands for, it's Northern Virginia Pro Wrestling. And basically, the Northern Virginia area is everything south of Washington, D.C., and pretty much north of Fredericksburg. And the thing about independent wrestling in Virginia that a lot of people may or may not realize is it's very good. Like, there's 2 or 3 major promotions that do pretty well, and they're all in the south of Virginia, like closer to North Carolina and Tennessee. But in Nova, which is one of the biggest populaces in the country, there isn't any wrestling. And for years, there's been guys that have been coming out of the Northern Virginia area, but have never been able to wrestle in their hometown, like a big name on the independent scene.
Mike, you there? Mike?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. We were just losing you. Go ahead.
But yeah, like Northern Virginia, it's a big area, and there's a lot of wrestlers in this area that have to go 3 or 4 hours away. And more importantly, there's a lot of fans in this area that have to travel to Philadelphia or Richmond or New York City or Baltimore to see some good wrestling. And we're trying to change that by bringing the professional wrestling we can to the Northern Virginia area for these great fans that come out of that, sit in cars for hours on end to see good wrestling. That's not going to be the case anymore. Starting this Friday, you can just drive 15 or 20 minutes down the road and you can see some of the best professional wrestlers in the world today.
Yes, I'm looking at your card right now. You got some familiar names that I recognize. Like you have Tim Donson. He's on the show. I know I kind of see him like he's more like, I think the promotion AIW. I think of him first. So you have him coming up this Friday. He's going against let me see if I got the name right. Logan Easton Lawrence, if I'm not mistaken.
Actually, Logan Easton LaRoe.
Okay, LaRoe. I'm sorry about that.
This Friday.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, this Friday they'll be going against each other, and Logan actually has a bit of an issue with Donce. He believes that he's using his, he just had a big, he just went through a lot in his personal life, and Logan believes he's using that to enhance his wrestling career. And Logan does not appreciate that, and he does not see the wrestling ring as a place for charity, and he's looking to stop Tim Donce from doing such awful things to the sport of professional wrestling.
Yeah, Tim Donce. Yeah, like I said, I've been watching the stuff in AIW, so I'm very familiar with him. Also, see another name I'm very familiar with. I see him a couple of times here in California. That's what it's supposed to call AWS. And the name I'm familiar with is Sanjay Dutt. He's going against Ethan Case. You actually brought in Sanjay Dutt. That's pretty cool because I've seen him wrestle a couple of times, and it's a great to experience him live. I know he's doing his thing right now in TNA. They're having a little angle going on with he's representing Global Force, and they're going against TNA Wrestling. So I know he's doing his thing there and Global Force Wrestling. You actually brought in Sanjay. How excited are you feeling bringing Sanjay to your promotion?
Well, the interesting thing about Sanjay is, and people may not realize this, but he was actually born in Fairfax, Virginia. So this is his hometown, and he has he's been wrestling for 15 years all over the world. And he's actually never had the chance to wrestle in his hometown. So we're giving him the opportunity to not only wrestle in his hometown this Friday night, but be able to become a bona fide world champion this Friday night as he takes on Ethan Case and challenges for his PWI International Ultra J title.
All right. That's cool. And also, a tag team that I'm also familiar with, the Bravados. They're going to be going against the New River Violence.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with those guys, New River Violence, but I'm very familiar with the Bravados. I've seen them around Evolve or Dragon Gate USA the last few years. So explain to me about this tag team, the New River Violence.
Well, there are a couple of guys. They wrestle. It's Southpaw Eric Andrews and Lee Valiant with their manager, Christy Lynn. And they wrestle mostly in North Carolina, and they're known as two very dangerous guys. They, usually in North Carolina, they don't have music. They don't have wrestling gear. They come to fight. And they were actually raised on the New River, which is a river in southern Virginia. And they're coming to Virginia, and they take issue with the Bravados because they feel that they're being overlooked here and that, the spotlight's on the Bravados. We have the Bravados on the flyer and all that kind of stuff. And they, Christy Lynn said it best in a promo. They believe, yes, the Bravados are world-class athletes, but New River Violence are world-class fighters, and they're coming for a fight this Friday night.
All right, good. I'm going to pass on to my co-host, Tom. Tom, you have a question for him?
Yeah, obviously, thank you for coming on. It's very interesting because in the past, we've talked with wrestlers and promoters from indie promotions that are already kind of established. You know, they've been around for a few years, sometimes even a decade plus. But with Nova, this is your first show. What are some of the, I think, positives and negatives, some of the worries going into, because you run that first show, and that's what many wrestling promoters, it's their biggest thing. It's either make it or break it. So what are some of the good and bad you're looking forward to Friday?
I think the good about it is that it's a completely blank slate, and that has a lot to do with the area as well. Like I mentioned before, there's never really been an independent wrestling company in this area. So, you know, these people, like some things that, you know, people that watch indie wrestling all the time or go to indie wrestling shows all the time, these people may not pick up on that right away or may not realize how, like, big of a deal certain things are. So that's kind of a concern. The other concern is that, you know, with it being a new area and a brand new company, will the crowd be there, essentially? Like, we do have a pretty good pre-sale. We are happy with the amount of people that have already bought advance tickets, but it's just a matter of, you know, how they're going to react to things. You know, all these guys have never wrestled in front of this audience before, obviously, because it's a completely brand new audience. So it being a blank slate and a brand new promotion, like you said, it has its good and bad. But the positives, in my opinion, outweigh the concerns because, you know, blank slate, we can essentially write the book on how we want to do this.
Yeah, and it's definitely a very interesting perspective because, like you said, it's a blank slate. You kind of start from stage one, and then you kind of build from there. And with where I think independent wrestling is, which I think it's, you know, hotter than ever, and it's, you know, gaining more and more momentum, I think, as the weeks and months go by. Are you guys kind of paying attention to some of the other promotions, some of the big-name talents that are kind of going around and thinking maybe we can get them into a show to get some people in? What's your kind of plan as far as kind of scouting around?
Definitely.
Hold on there. Mike, you there? Hey, Tom, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I think we lost Mike. Mike, you there?
Yeah. Hello?
Okay, yeah.
All right, we lost you for a second, so repeat what you said.
Well, like a couple of guys we wanted to bring in for the future. Chris Hero is a guy we really want to use in the future. Drew Gulak is another one who we actually almost had him for this first show, but he had prior commitments. And then Andrew Everett and Trevor Lee are a couple other guys we'd really like to bring in. But I think first and foremost, we definitely want, while we also want to have like that star appeal where, like, you know, people are going to go out of their way to see a talent like Chris Hero or Andrew Everett or Trevor Lee, but we also want to build up our guys, you know, against them. We don't want to use these guys and just have them, you know, beat up some of our guys that are going to be here every month. We want to show the casual fans that our guys are on the same level as some of the best wrestlers in the world, you know?
Oh, completely understandable. And I think that's one of the benefits of having a new promotion and I think a lot of people like the kind of maybe the lesser known guys because they like to see them being built up. They like to say, hey, I saw that guy when he had his first match with Chris Hero, for example, just because
exactly, yeah.
So they like to see that. So I think that's definitely a good thing to do, and it's and who knows, you know, some of the lesser known guys in Nova, who knows, they could be big time names, and that's I think what people are looking for.
Exactly, we definitely want to be the promotion where our fans can say, like, if Ethan Case or if Logan Easton Moreau, eventually wrestles for PWG or Ring of Honor or Dragon Gate USA, we want to be the place where people say, hey, I saw them first here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think it's good to have, a good mix of talent in there, so definitely a good perspective. All right, Oscar, I'm going to throw it back to you, man.
Yeah, definitely. Another name I'm also familiar with that I see in a lot of New Japan, you actually have Chase Owens on the card. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Chase Owens is from Virginia, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's actually he's from Bristol, Virginia, which is like a little town that's right on the border of Virginia and Tennessee.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I see him that he's going to be in the card as well. I got to see him a lot in New Japan. I heard of him before when he was in New Japan, but yeah, he's a name that I wish I get to see him in person. But yeah, but if anybody's listening, if you're near Virginia or if you could drive there or whatever, then yeah, you gotta check out Chase Owens.
He's definitely he's definitely a guy I'm really excited to see what he can bring to our promotion. And a lot of people have been saying his match, he's wrestling Eric Royal Friday night.
Yeah.
And the people that are familiar with Eric Royal have been telling me that they're thinking that that's going to be the potential show stealer on the card this Friday. So I'm really excited for that match.
Yeah, definitely. That's going to be very exciting. But I'd like to ask you about also the promotion. Not only that you can show it, live, but is there any possible way that there's other ways you can check the show? Like, is there a stream service that maybe people can, like, if they cannot afford to come down to the show, is there a way maybe if there's a live service stream in there?
Well, we don't have any we don't have a type video. Our video will be in the building, filming the event, and it will be available on their website via MP4 or VOD. And they have a pretty quick turnaround, so you'll probably see it within a week after the show pop up on the website.
Okay, all right. So, all right. Well, I'll look into it because I'm from California. So if when it comes out, I'll get looking and I'll check it out and see what kind of show you guys will bring up to, and hopefully you guys do bigger and better things down the road. Also, I know you guys just barely doing your first show, but there's any talk doing the second one after this one?
There is. We do have a date in place at the same building we're running this first show at, and we are going to announce that date on Friday if everything goes well and we have the right amount of people. And if everything goes smoothly this Friday night, we do plan on announcing the second show date.
Definitely. Also, I know you're saying this is for the state of Virginia, but I don't know if it's too early to ask, but is there any thought in mind will you move the promotion to another state nearby Virginia? If that's another goal of yours, or you just want to keep it in the Virginia area?
There is an idea that a lot of us are talking about doing what we're going to call road trip shows.
Okay.
Maybe we have some connections down in North Carolina with this other promotion, CWF Mid-Atlantic, and we were thinking about down the road doing a show with them, possibly doing a show in Philly or Baltimore or some of the nearby bigger cities as well.
All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna go pass it back to Tom. Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, my next question. I'm looking at the card, and one of the things that always intrigues me when I'm looking at a lot of the independent cards is the women's matches, because I truly believe that independent women's wrestling is at an all-time high. There are so many great women's wrestlers out there. I mean, too many for me to even list off, because if I did, I would forget one. that is a phenomenal talent. And we have Amber Rodriguez going against Casey Carsley this Friday night. Talk about what you guys are going to try and do with women's wrestling, considering how big I think it's getting.
Well, to talent, a lot of people were telling me when we were putting together the card that and I truly believe after seeing a lot of the footage from both of them, I've been a big fan of Casey Carlisle for a few years now, and after seeing some footage of Amber Rodriguez, these are the two best women's wrestlers in the area, in our local area of Virginia and Maryland and D.C. We're very excited because we are going to try to give a platform to showcase some of the best women's wrestlers in the world. And they're both very excited. They both told me that they're going to go out there and steal the show, which is the mentality I think everyone should have, but I'm really excited to see what these two can do. And looking down the road, there are a few women's wrestlers on the indies that I would love to bring wrestling. Heidi Lovelace out of the Midwest is one of them. Kimberly from New Jersey and New York is one of them. And Cherry Bomb, once she heals up too, are a few names that I like to bring in. But we definitely want to be a place that showcases women's wrestling because, like you said, it is some of the most exciting wrestling, not just on the independents, but on national TV as well.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. And those, three women that you named off, I mean, they're just great talents that we talk about weekly. Just because they're putting on phenomenal performances week after week after week, and it's absolutely insane. I want to get your thoughts because we see it in some promotions, but then you don't see it in other promotions. What are your thoughts on intergender wrestling? Is it something that Nova would consider doing, or is it something that maybe should be left for other promotions to do?
Well, about whether or not we can do it is actually we're forbidden by the state to not do it because we have to follow state athletic commission guidelines. And I believe in Virginia you're not allowed to have intergender wrestling at all, not even mixed tags or something like that. But my feelings on the subject are there are some places that do it really well, like AIW, and there are a couple other places that kind of abuse it a little, where it's just a guy beating up a girl and it gets kind of awkward quickly. You know what I mean? So I think with intergender wrestling, it should certain Candice and PWG and AIW are the two places that can pull it off, I think.
Yeah, definitely agree. And that was just one of the things, just because it's always, a little bit of not a touchy subject, but, some promoters like to do it, and it's something that kind of, you'll see some places, but obviously if you can't do it because of certain, athletic commission codes, then you can't do it. And it's also interesting to see because, like you said, you guys are a brand new promotion and people like to see, new things because, like I said, a lot of new stuff that's kind of popping up within wrestling. So there's a little bit of a different perspective, but completely 100% agree with all your thoughts on it.
Well, that's good.
All right, Oscar. Right back to you, man.
All right, I guess we have a caller on hold right now. Let me put this person on right now. 609 area code. You're live on WrestlingHeads Radio. Who's speaking?
Yo, this is Emil. Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Yeah, hey, so this is what happens when the local promoter gives me the wrong phone number to call in on.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God.
Good job, Mike.
This is the ring announcer for Nova Pro Wrestling and play-by-play commentator.
All right. How you doing tonight, sir?
Doing great, man. Mike asked me to join him on this show while we talk about some Nova Wrestling, and man, I tell you what, I was ready, and he says call this number. It wasn't the right number, so somehow I found the right one, so I'm here now. I don't know how much of the show you guys have discussed or anything like that, but if there's anything you, Mike, would like me to touch on, I'm game. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're just talking about the card you guys have. Yeah, and I mean the names that I'm familiar with, like Sanjay Dutt, Chase Owens, Tim Donst. So you got all these names, the bravados. You know, it's a great show. It looks like if I was around the area, I'll freaking make the drive to get out there. You know, so. I mean, it seems like a very exciting show, and everybody that's listening, if you guys live in the Virginia area or close by, you can drive there. You guys should just check it out. I mean, this Friday night. What is the prices for the tickets? If just in case they haven't bought their tickets yet. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You kind of died on that part.
General admission is $20, and then front row seats are $25. There is only a handful of front row seats left. I think we're trying to get like additional seats for the day of show, but
okay.
we'll see.
Okay, and for all the listeners that like to go to shows and have some kind of booze, will there be alcohol serving?
Unfortunately, we cannot serve alcohol just because it's a Jewish cultural center that we're running at, and it's like the Shabbat or whatever.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's fine. I mean, I just put it out there in case for listeners that like to drink during the show, because I'm from California, and, you know, I go to attend PWG a lot, and they serve a lot of alcohol out there, so I'm just put it out there for people who like to go there. And $20, you just mentioned $20 for general admission. I sometimes I go to, like, other wrestling shows that, you know, they'll put it down like maybe $10 for like maybe for children. Is that something you guys will do as well? Like if they want to bring,
we got kids 12 and under. GA is going to be $10, and then if you're a member of the JCC, we're going to give you $15 for GA as well.
All right, interesting. And are you guys planning to do a family environment show, or is it something that you guys want to, like, what is the vision of the show? Like, what kind of environment-wise? Are you planning, like I said, a family, or is it something like, how can I say, almost like a PWG atmosphere where, you know, you guys are targeting more adults than family? Like, what's your mindset on for this promotion?
We're kind of going to play it by ear with that kind of thing. Like, I think we're going to, like, the first show, we're going to try to keep PG. But as we move forward, we're going to see what kind of audience we have and see what we can get away with, you know.
All right, that's fair enough. If I was prior to starting this launch, I probably would just start a family thing, you know, and I just want to see what kind of people we're having. If you know, they want to see blood and guts, we'll just throw some blood and guts, you know. But if it's like that, like more traditional wrestling, I'm down for that. For me, I like to watch anything, you know. Like, I mean, I watch everything. WWE, I watch TNA, I watch Ring of Honor, I watch everything, you know. And I just want to see what's going on out there. And I respect everything they do, and I respect the talent that what they do in the ring. So I just check anything. So that's very kind of you guys. You're gonna try and find out what kind of fan base you guys have, and you look like you guys are already about to sell out front row. So anybody that's listening, you better get your front row now, because like you said, if there's only a handful, like you just said, right? So if I were you, better go get them. And where can they get their tickets if they want to buy them online?
Yeah, you can get them at novaprowrestling.tumblr.com. There's a little PayPal link on that webpage.
Okay. Yeah.
You'll be able to pick up tickets there.
Cool. Just in case, because I go to, because PWG runs PayPal. Will there be a fee? Just a little heads up, because I buy stuff from PayPal. And what's funny is that PWG is the only one that sees me. So, are you guys going to do that as well, or it's going to be just straight up $20? I guess you're breaking out again.
It's a straight up like $20 or $25, whichever you choose. There's no fee attached.
All right. Tom, you have a final question for him?
Yeah, my final question is, like I said, go like we've been talking about. It's your first show going into Friday. Are you guys, I don't want to say that you guys aren't well prepared, but are you thinking about the little things like the timing of the show? Are you thinking about, first impressions, how you introduce some of these new talents, maybe the people who have never seen it, maybe kind of look at the small things, because I've heard and I've seen it, firsthand of, smaller up-and-coming independent promotions not doing the small things. So do you think you guys are adequately prepared, front to back on everything?
Yeah, I think we're pretty well prepared, because I have a very good team behind me with Emil, who joined us a little earlier. Brad Stutz is another guy, and Kevin Ford and a few other people that have worked for other promotions, and all the things we're talking about, all the things that could and will go wrong at an indie wrestling thing. We're trying to avoid all those things. We're trying to make sure everybody follows their time. We're trying to make sure everybody's in the right place, and everything goes smoothly. So I think we're pretty well prepared, because we do have a great group of guys.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, for an up and coming promotion, that's something that I kind of look at. I look at the small things, because I've heard before, people going to some of the smaller shows, and the shows have run like 4 hours, and it's like you can't do that. So it's good to hear that you guys are looking at that sort of thing. It's good to hear that everything's sounding positive right now. And I got to personally say good luck to you guys. I hope you guys sell out. I hope you guys get as many butts into the Jewish Community Center as possible. And I'll definitely be keeping an eye on you guys.
Thank you guys so much for having me on and letting me talk a little bit of wrestling with y'all.
Yeah. Before we let you go, do you like to give out any plugs to our listeners in case you want to look up for future dates for Nova Wrestling, or maybe they want to decide to come out this Friday to check you guys out?
Yeah, you can follow the promotion on Twitter. The Twitter handle is @VA Wrestling. You can follow me on Twitter @VAGentMike. You can also check out our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Northern Virginia Pro Wrestling. And then, like I said, the Tumblr page with all the information on the building, how they get there, and the entire card, everything that's announced so far, and where you can buy tickets is novaprowrestling.tumblr.com.
All right, definitely. I'm going to just let you guys know you guys look like you're starting off pretty good. You're bringing out these names, and I'm hoping there's big things coming up for Nova Pro Wrestling. And hopefully in the future we'll have you guys back on for you guys can come down and talk about another big show for Nova.
Yeah, I really hope so, guys.
All right then. Well, you guys have a good night, and I wish you guys luck for this weekend.
All right, thank you guys so much.
You guys have a good night.
Yep.
Night. All right, that was the guys from Nova Pro Wrestling. I mean, this company seems like they're starting off the right direction. Hope you guys listen, give them a chance, and check out the promotion, and maybe there could be great things coming out from this promotion. So you guys should check it out. There's all out there. So, I mean, the names out there on the roster seems interesting, and maybe if I was in near Virginia, I probably would check it out. So, yeah, I'm thinking about checking some stuff. I don't know about you, Tom, but I'm actually thinking about checking it out because I like the card. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. And, I'll always check anything out that's available. I'll always give something a try, give it a look at. And, listen, they made their first good decision, and I could tell this was a good promotion, because they decided to come on WrestlingHeads Radio. That was their first great decision.
Yeah. And, yeah. All right, we'll see what how these guys do. And this Friday in and support these guys and see what happens. All right, let's take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to talk some Night of Champions, and then Raw, and then maybe we'll talk about a second season of something coming up. So, yeah, we'll be right back. Okay, hold on a second. What the fuck?
Hello, friends. This is Matt Seidel. You are using your brain and listening to WrestlingHeads. Respect.
My name is Rich Swan, and we're at PWG, but you are now listening to the WrestlingHeads Radio.
All right, welcome back to WrestlingHeads Radio. That was Rich Swan. I'd like to see where he's going to be in the next few months. That'll be very interesting. What of it, Tom?
It definitely would be. And then a couple other people. I got to say, before we get into Night of Champions talk, I'm pretty sure we may talk about this more on Thursday. But breaking news, I like to consider it breaking news.
All right, it's breaking news.
Coming to Evolve Wrestling, October 17th and 18th, SoCal's own Willie Mack making his Evolve debut.
Well, it's not really breaking news, but I've been knowing that. But, yeah, he's coming to Evolve. I'm pretty proud of him.
It was officially announced tonight.
You know what? I don't want to say, I don't want to be bragging it or anything, but I think I was there when at PWG Bola after the show. Willie Mack was there. He came after the show. I guess he wanted to ride home or something. So then he ran into Rich Swan. I remember they were conversating about something like, "Hey, tell me out here, just tell these guys about me and see what's up. I'm interesting, whatever." I don't know what the heck we were talking about. Then I got the feeling that maybe Rich Swan helped him out, and he's gonna be part of the Evolve. So, very proud of the guy. Hopefully does good things out there, and wish him the best of luck. Did they announce an opponent for him yet?
No, they just announced that he's making his debut, and Rocky Romero is also making his debut as well.
See, Rocky Romero's been everywhere. He's actually been on Championship Wrestling from Hollywood over here in California as of late. So, yeah, Rocky Romero, former guest on this show. You got to give this guy a shirt sooner or later. I haven't seen him in a cool bit, but, yeah, hopefully I get to see him soon. All right. We're going to talk Night of Champions, but hold on. We already got a caller calling in. I think I know who this is. 540, you're on WrestlingHeads Radio. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
Am I on? How y'all
yes,
doing?
You're on. You're doing good. You're about to talk about Night of Champions.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I mean, I thought Night of Champions was a great show, however, and seeing, great title changes. I think the Kevin Owens Intercontinental Championship was great. And Charlotte winning the Divas title, I mean, that was awesome. And you had John Cena win the U.S. title. I predicted that Rollins would lose one of his belts. I predicted that Rollins would lose the WWE World Heavyweight title, however, but he pulls off some victories over Sting, which I can agree with, because Sting was injured, yes, because of that fall he took. That cross-body move. And all of a sudden, after you have Rollins cashing his money in the bank, Kane comes out.
Yep. The big red machine just, he can't. I mean, his return last night. Still surprised to see him.
Where's Harry? Where's Harry tonight? Where's Harry tonight? Harry Broadhurst.
Who?
I must be talking to another show.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm still here.
Radio.
I'm still here. But on to Monday Night Raw. But on to Monday Night Raw now. And I thought Raw was not pretty good, and not all good to me. It didn't interest me because Sting was going to be there, but then they said, okay, you know what? Let's do the Wyatt family first, and have Roman Reigns challenge him to fight, and then have like Dean Ambrose and Randy Orton against the Wyatt family, and keep Sting on later. But Sting never mentioned Sting one bit.
Yeah, you know what? I actually thought Sting was. I heard that he was still going to come down, but I don't remember seeing Sting at all.
And the thing about it is, I don't think Sting and the WWE had a disagreement. I think what the WWE said, I think what the writers and the workers said, you know what, Sting, take some time off, go to get some rest, heal up before WrestleMania, so you can have your match with Taker, but in the meantime, just heal up. Okay?
You still think Undertaker and Sting would happen at WrestleMania? Because I actually thought it would be Brock Lesnar and Taker 3, but with the announcement of Hell in a Cell, which I'm going to be there live at the Staples Center, it's going to be Brock Lesnar against the Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match, and it says that's going to be the final match. So I don't know if they're going to be Sting and Taker at WrestleMania, but if that's the case, I'm looking forward to that. But there could be other opponents.
I'm definitely looking forward to see Brock and Undertaker, but yeah, I still think we are gonna see Sting versus Undertaker at WrestleMania 32. Okay. Another match I wanted to get on to was the six-man tag team match with the Dudleys and the Ziggler and the New Day and Rusev. Now, is it just me, or did Xavier Woods have a blunt? I know Xavier Woods had something, but I think it was that wood from the table.
Yeah, it was the wood from the table he went through the night before.
Yeah, he did went through the night before. And did you see, and I think the highlight of the night for me, too, was when Paige cut that big pipe bomb promo. It was supposed to be Charlotte's night, but you know what Paige said? Charlotte, you're not going to be taking my thunder because I got a lot of things to say. Yeah,
I'm shocked they turned Paige, and I'd like to see what's going to go down. Maybe they'll be different. Maybe all teams are going to break up, and they all do their things. Maybe I just feel like the Revolution needs to be a little different now. I think it's time to break up the teams and see what they do so far. I'm happy to see Natty back. So
yeah, kind of glad to see Natty back. But definitely, one more topic I want to get into before I go, and what is the deal with Kane? First he's corporate, and now he's Demon. What a change. He's like, you know who Kane reminds me of? Remember that story when they did Abyss in TNA? Remember that?
Oh, Joseph Parks, yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me of Abyss. And trying to see him drag Seth Rollins to hell, in which he did, man, I wonder if Zack Ryder and Brie Bella were watching this, because they know what it's like firsthand, and they know what it's like first experience, so Rollins might as well just tell Zack Ryder and Brie Bella how it almost felt to be dragged into hell. All right, guys, I'll chat with you hopefully soon, and don't forget to listen in to our radio show every Monday afternoon.
All right.
All right, see you later.
Well, you have a good evening now, all right?
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, that's our friends, another guy from Virginia, so we got Virginia all over the WrestlingHeads radio, I see. All right, Night of Champions. We'll start off with the pre-show, and the pre-show, we all know the Stardust and Ascension defeated Lucha Dragons and Neville in yesterday's pre-show, which a little disappointing the outcome for that, but it still continues on, what we'll talk about later. Well, Night of Champions open up with Ryback against Kevin Owens, which I was not a fan of this match at all. I just feel like Kevin Owens tried his best to make this match possible. I mean, it just seems like these guys have no chemistry together. I don't even want to blame Ryback. I don't know. People might say, oh, it's Ryback because he can't wrestle and Kevin Owens can wrestle. Well, I mean, there's some people I see in the ring make a whack wrestler look good. No, knocking out to Kevin Owens, but it just seems like in this match there is something they can't work something out and make this match good. They didn't seem like the chemistry wasn't there, and it would just start off a boring match to me. But there's one thing I'm happy about, which maybe you were shocked on, that Kevin Owens walked out Intercontinental champion, and we'll see where it goes from there. Tom, what's your thought about that match between Kevin Owens and Ryback?
I thought it was actually better than expected. Ryback didn't look too bad. I thought Kevin Owens really played off of Ryback's strengths and kind of hid a lot of his weaknesses. It was a good opener. I thought this was the perfect match to do it. Do a title change. That definitely surprised me. Was expecting a DQ, but hey, I'll take a title change, and it's a good change of pace. It's always good to have a title on a guy like Kevin Owens as opposed to Ryback, because Ryback, he was doing nothing with the title, absolutely freaking nothing, and he was making the title boring. But you put the title on Kevin Owens, and it doesn't really matter who he's going against. He's going to make it interesting, and he's going to make you want to watch it. So that's the type of person that you need to have the Intercontinental title on. So, yeah, like I said, I thought it was a good opener. Nothing too great, but very solid, and like the title change.
Okay. All right. About Kevin Owens, I mean, I'm hoping they do something with the Intercontinental Championship with him carrying the title. I mean, look at Cesaro. He was the U.S. champion. Nothing happened. Nothing went well. I mean, I think it just depends on the writers what the hell they're gonna do with Kevin Owens. I know we're not on Raw talk yet, but the way it looks like it's gonna be a rematch between Kevin Owens and Ryback. That thing's still gonna continue on. Let's just say after that feud ends, and if Kevin Owens still carry a title, what you do to him next? I mean, you have to put in guys against like Neville, or maybe bring in Sami Zayn, someone at least. They can work with Kevin Owens and make it interesting. Don't put him in, like I said before, don't put him in stupid feuds like him and Mark Henry or him and the Big Show. We don't want to see that shit. I mean, or maybe him and Cesaro will work again, but I mean, make his Intercontinental run memorable, please. I mean, Cesaro was, when he won the U.S. title, I mean, we all like Cesaro, but his U.S. title run was just sucked. He had rivals with R-Truth, Santino, Kofi Kingston. That was it. It didn't go anywhere. And, I mean, it was just a disaster. I mean, I feel bad for Cesaro with that U.S. title reign. It was just, to me, I didn't feel like it was a great memorable reign. And we all know Cesaro is a great wrestler in the ring. So we'll see. Let's see what it goes with the Intercontinental title. I mean, hopefully you're right, Tom. I mean, if you see you can put them in everybody that it will work, let's see. But yeah, I'm happy that Kevin Owens won the title, and hopefully I get to see him well, most likely in Hell in a Cell, I'm going to see him in Ryback go at it. So hopefully I'm wrong, but that's what it looks like to me. All right, next match, which I believe it was Dolph Ziggler against Rusev. Well, it was once again, it's like you see on Raw, but a little tweak in there. Like, okay, once I don't remember, but it seems like Dolph Ziggler was doing that little roll again. Like, remember when he had that feud with Alberto Del Rio when he was playing the concussion roll? So there was one point where I think we were still kicking him in the face. He looked like he was out cold, like he had the concussion thing, but he kind of like played a fool, like he would try to do the roll up pin and all that stuff. And but going back to the match, I mean, it just seems like another Raw match. There's some stuff that Dolph Ziggler do with like he's on the DDT. I don't say the spinning DDT, but he's like on top of him and does a DDT. And you see Ziggler doing the super kicks, Rusev doing a super kick. It was a super kick party, you can say. And I believe, was it Dolph Ziggler won the match by DQ, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. And it looks like that rivalry's still going to continue on. Tom, what you thought about that match?
Excuse me. It was all right. Like I said, from day one, I've hated this feud. I've not liked any of the matches. It's just this feud is so stupid, and it's really hindered any enjoyment I can get out of the matches. So, like, I thought this was all right. It was fine. It was on the card, but it was really nothing more than that.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. The way it looks like on Raw, they're going to continue on, and we'll see. All right, next match, it was the tag team title match. You had the challengers, the Dudley Boys, making a return in the WWE pay-per-view in 10 years, going against the New Day. I thought this match was all right. I mean, there were some cool spots in there. Like once again, Big E doing. It seems like he's doing this only on pay-per-view spots where he's jumping and then when someone's laying on the apron, he does that splash. He did it again, but this time he did a Bubba, bigger dude. I mean, I was like, oh, I felt that part right there. I like the whole freaking Xavier Woods looking like with a Rufio hairdo. If you guys don't know who Rufio is a character from the Hook movie, the Peter Pan movie. He had the hairdo yesterday. Go rocking that out. There was a Rufio chant going on there. But unfortunately, Dudley Boys won by DQ because they gave him the 3D, and then Xavier Woods came on and just attacked Bubba, and then cost the Dudley Boys the tag team titles. They won the match, but cost them the titles. You can't win the titles under disqualification. And then they were pissed off, and then they 3D'd Xavier Woods to that table. Tom, do you have any comments on that tag match?
I thought it was a really solid tag match. A lot of good spots in here. You know, I didn't expect a title change, and it was good not to see one. You know, they could hold off on that, so I thought it was good. Just a plain old good tag match. You know, there was nothing, like too great about it. It wasn't like, the tag matches you're going to see, on the indies or anything like that, but it was still really good. So I enjoyed this. Xavier Woods is hilarious, which I'll get into a little bit later on why he's one of the best things going on in WWE. The whole New Day. And we've been saying that for how many months? But it's it's good to see the Dudleys in there kind of mixing in and doing their own little comedy spots and mixing in good and bringing some interest into that tag team division. The tag team division still has a lot of work to do. They really need to establish a lot of good teams. And you can't bring up teams like the Ascension and then bury them within the first week of them being on the roster. So, yeah. So hopefully we'll see what happens. And but like I said, I thought it was fine, good, solid tag match, nothing wrong.
Yeah, definitely. Let me ask you a question. That we're still talking about the Dudley Boys subject. What was your thought? I don't know if you heard on Twitter, but somebody made a picture. It says in fantasy. I don't know if you remember that segment they had with the New Day, Dudley Boys, and Ezra Christian. Someone made a picture like Photoshop. They took the New Day out and put the pictures of the Hardy Boys, and then they put fantasy, but reality we get this, and it was a New Day. But in the fantasy part, they put the pictures of the Hardy Boys. Bully Ray, I think he took a copy of that picture and he tagged Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. He just says, "Hey, just saying." So, what is your thoughts of Bubba Ray trying to put it out there and say, "Hey guys, come back to the WWE"? And there's all these reports that TNA might let go of Jeff Hardy. So, what's your thoughts of all that? Do you really care if seeing the Hardy Boys come back to WWE?
I don't know. It's just, I'm nothing against the Hardys, but it's like I even had interest. The last time I had interest in Matt Hardy was when he was in Ring of Honor. Last time I had interest in Jeff Hardy was, I can't even remember. Maybe when he first came back to TNA, maybe around that time.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it's been like Jeff Hardy's a guy over the last 5 or 6 years where he's just done so many stupid things, and it seems like he's getting on a good track. So hopefully, that's it's a good sign. But I don't know. Maybe I would like to see it once, one time more. Even if it's just Dudley's versus the Hardys, because obviously Edge and Christian can't be in there because Edge can never wrestle again. It would be some good nostalgia, but that's one of the problems. It's one of the things that we gripe about from week to week is how they just keep bringing back all of these old stars and they're not focusing on the young guys. And it's good once in a while to bring back some old guys. Jericho comes back once in a while. Some legends come back once in a while for a one-night thing, like Mick Foley will come back once in a while, or Ric Flair, and whoever. So if they're going to do it, they can't stretch it out too long. Bring them back once in a while, to sell some tickets or to have people watch a Raw or a pay-per-view or whatever. But I think they need to be focusing more on bringing tag teams from NXT up to the main roster and using them properly.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't want to see Jeff Hardy in the WWE full-time schedule. I don't think they have any interest to work in a full-time schedule, but I'm pretty sure if they offer him a Legends contract, they'll sign it in right away and do some appearances on Raw and SmackDown. But I don't see him doing it daily or monthly, whatever, like a Brock Lesnar thing. I could see him making appearances. And if anything, they want to put him in the Hall of Fame, go for it. I think Matt and Jeff I don't think they're done yet, in the ring-wise, but, they're deserving to be in the Hall of Fame, both those guys. The Hardy Boys do deserve it. So it's the Dudleys and Edge and Christian. Edge is in, Christian's not in, but, maybe it's a tag team-wise, you want to put them in, because they totally deserve it. But we'll see what happens. And as for the Dudleys, they announced on Raw today they're getting their rematch at the Madison Square Garden show against the New Day. So this feud will continue on. All right, next match, which I believe was the Divas match. it was Nikki Bella defending her title against Charlotte. And it was an okay match. It did the thing that where Charlotte hurt her knee and Nikki Bella attacking the knee. And one thing I don't get is what's up with all these glitter things on the side of Charlotte's face? What's up with all that? I don't get that shit.
I don't know. It's really weird. Like, at first I thought it was like, at first I thought it was glitter, and I was like,
yeah.
Wait, are they like doing an Alexa Bliss type gimmick with her? But then I realized it was like, it's like those gems, and they're like glued to her face. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. They add these silly things to divas' wardrobes, and
yeah.
Let's just.
Well, we can say this. Finally, Nikki Bella loses her Divas Championship, and Charlotte is your new Divas Champion. And, happy for her that she won it. She was the NXT Women's Champion at one point in a while. She had it for a while, but now she's the Divas Champion. Ric Flair was there, all happy, proud of her, and kissing his daughter. And, she's the new Divas Champion. Tom, what's your thoughts on that match between Nikki Bella and Charlotte?
I thought it was okay. I saw what they were going for in the match. Nikki was trying to, do the heat spot and work over Charlotte's knee. But I thought the finish was out of nowhere. Like, it kind of seemed like it was rushed, because the whole match was Nikki trying to destroy Charlotte's leg, and then the finish was Charlotte winning with a submission hold, the figure 8, which is a knee-based submission. So you completely ruined the heat spot for the whole match. And it's like she wasn't even like selling it at all. So that's something that really bothered me, and kind of took away from the match. But like I said, it was an okay match, nothing to write home about. Obviously I thought, the finish was, I think everybody saw it coming with Charlotte winning. So good finish, match was okay, and like I said, they you can't do that. Like I said, what would be the whole point of working over a body part of somebody and then having them win with something to do with that body part that's been worked over the whole match? It doesn't make any sense,
Yeah, and then she actually did the figure 8 like perfectly, like she didn't had a knee injury. But they finished it up like that, and Charlotte is your new Diva Champion. And we'll talk about the Divas later in a little bit. Next match was the 6-man, the Wyatt family against Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, which the mystery partner ended up being, which I heard the rumor earlier today that he was in the building, Y2J Chris Jericho. Yes, he was the mystery partner. So we were hearing other names like possibly Kane to be the mystery partner or The Rock, but ended up being Chris Jericho. The match was okay. I mean, now this match shown more Braun Strowman. He sold more on this one. I mean, lately he comes out there and he became a monster, just complete dominance, but it finally shows him like selling. And they went at it. It was pretty much too long. And also I gotta mention this. What made me laugh my ass off was when before he announced the mystery partner, a fan walked in there dressed like the Shield, and they stand next to Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and then Dean Ambrose was like, okay, here's the mystery partner right here. Everybody started laughing. I swear, even the wives, they broke out of character and started laughing. That shit was funny, and I had to put that out there. But anyways, the match was okay. I mean, Roman doing his little Superman punch, spears at Braun Strowman, and you have Y2J seemed like he tried to sneak in, try to get the win, but he's the one that got defeated, and they lost the match, and Wyatt family walked out, and after that, it seemed like some odd ending, but Dean and Roman was staring at Jericho staring him back, and then he started walking in the stage, but before he did that, he pushed Dean Ambrose, by shoulder push, for some reason, and it looked like Chris Jericho walked out as a heel. Tom, what do you thought of the match, and what do you thought of Chris Jericho being the mystery partner?
I thought Chris Jericho being the mystery partner was so underwhelming. I mean, it's better than Eric Rowan, and better than maybe Eric Rowan, but still, it's just like, Chris Jericho, okay, I guess that's okay, I guess that's fine. But match was okay. Match was pretty solid. The one thing I do like what they're doing so far is they're really making Braun Strowman look like a monster. Having him win this match was huge. They're really making this guy look out to be, a legitimate force. And that worries me, because we've seen this in the past where WWE makes a guy look like a monster for about a month or two, and then he'll be a comedy act within 5 months. So hopefully they keep it going, because Braun Strowman is looking good as the monster of the Wyatt family. It adds a lot more to the dynamic of the Wyatt family. So keep it going. And it looks like, they're going to be doing possibly a Jericho, Roman Reigns or Jericho Dean Ambrose feud, or maybe just a one-time match, but that could be something interesting. I always think that heel Chris Jericho is the best Chris Jericho, so that should be something to look out for. So while not one of the best decisions, bringing in Chris Jericho, it could lead to something pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see what happens. All right. Next match, which was pretty much the main event, double main event, you can say. It was the first one out of those matches. Seth Rollins defending his United States Championship against John Cena, which, in my mind, the best match of the night. It was like a repeat of SummerSlam, the same thing, crazy-ass spots. It's almost like Seth Rollins' workspace on this time. It's just a repeated performance of both of them in SummerSlam. It was a great match. And John Cena's getting ball in the back of the head just to let WWE know that. So, yeah. This time, John Cena won the match. And he's your new United States champion. Tom, what you thought about that match?
I thought it was really good. Match of the night. Cena and Rollins always have really good chemistry together. This was basically the SummerSlam match again, but with a clean finish. So that makes it even better. Cena's looking really impressive this year as far as in-ring work. It may be his best in-ring work year ever in 2015. And, Rollins looked good as well. And obviously you got to put the title back on Cena, because there's more for Cena to do with the U.S. title than Rollins. So I was fine with the decision, but it's the one problem I will say is that, okay, so Cena pins Rollins for the U.S. title, but that doesn't make any sense, because then that just means he could win the world title. So, because if he could beat Seth Rollins for the U.S. title, that means that he should be able to beat Seth Rollins for the world title. So it's like it's a weird conundrum, and it's just like I don't get the logic behind it, but as long as Cena's not world champ, I guess I can't argue with it. You know, he's been good as U.S. champ, so I'll roll with it. I'll roll with the punches. So very, very good stuff from these two. Like I said, another good match, but with a clean finish. So I enjoyed it.
All right. Then the last match was Seth Rollins had to defend his WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Sting. We all heard of the reports that Sting was injured during the match. There's two ways he might have gotten injured. One was they were both on top of the table, and then Seth Rollins pushed Sting to the Spanish announce table, but Sting's back of the head landed on the monitor. That looked sick. I'll tell you that right now. Like, oh shit. And I feel bad for him because due to his age and all that, you fucking land like that hard. I mean, that gotta hurt. That had to sting him. And then another spot where they're saying he got hurt, where when Rollins threw him to the turnbuckles and his neck snapped back, and that's how he got injured. And after that spot, there was actually medical doctors and trying to help up Sting and see how he's doing and all that stuff. And he was basically, obviously you can see he was hurt, and Sting actually tried to do the Scorpion Deathlock on him a couple of times. You know, Seth will first just reach for the ropes, and then I guess the finish was when it looked like Sting would once again try to do the Scorpion Deathlock, and then Seth Rollins he reached to a pin, and then he defeated Sting, and he still is your WWE World Heavyweight Champion. After the match, Sheamus came out, literally wants to cash it in, but then the return of the big red machine came. He came out and chokeslammed both of them, and that's pretty much how Night of Champions ended. Tom, what you thought about the whole match and the ending of Night of Champions?
I thought the match was pretty good. Sting did not look 56 years old. He looked on top of his game. You know, he took the buckle bomb. He took the bump through the table. He did the crossbody from the top rope. He looked he looked really good. It was just I think he kicked it into overdrive, and you know you take a buckle bomb, and obviously you know they didn't mention his injury tonight, which leads me to believe that it's something pretty legit and serious. I could be wrong, but who knows? We'll probably get an update this week by somebody, either WWE or non-WWE sources. So, but like I said, Sting looked really good, and Rollins looked good as well, especially after wrestling the match with Cena. So he looked solid, and he helped Sting do some of the things as well. So it definitely was better than I thought it was going to be. You know, I thought it was going to be, okay, they're going to do the typical spots, a slower pace type of match. You know, I didn't expect, excuse me, a top rope crossbody. I didn't expect Sting to take that buckle bomb and for him to go through the announce table. So a couple nice spots thrown in there really, I think, made this, you know, not a great main event, but definitely a very solid way. And I mean, it's 2015, and we are going to have Kane going for the world title. I'm just fucking sick of this. I'm so fucking sick of seeing people in the past getting title shots and getting the spotlight. Kane doesn't need a world title feud with Seth Rollins. I get that it's part of the storyline, and, you know, they need to do it because it's all part of this whole thing with the Authority and whatever. But you don't need to do a world title match on a pay-per-view because that's probably what's going to happen at Hell in a Cell. You don't need to do that. And, they're spotlighting Big Show, to go against Brock Lesnar, and he beat Cesaro tonight, and that shouldn't happen. It's just getting ridiculous at this point how much they're spotlighting all these old guys. And, this was the thing that TNA was doing. TNA was spotlighting all the old guys while they had a great crop of young talent that people were craving to see, but instead we were getting all the ex-WWE talent and a lot of the older talent. And it's the same thing. So, this Kane-Seth Rollins match, I don't care for it. I don't want to see it. Get Kane out of there. Get Big Show out of there. Get Mark Henry out of there. I can't believe how many times I've said that, probably in 2015 alone. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to Hell in a Cell, and that's what it looks like when we see a WWE title match, Seth Rollins against Kane. But they announced last night that Undertaker and Brock Lesnar are going to go at it in a Hell in a Cell match. So I can say that I'm actually more proud to see that. And I wanted to say that this could be their second Hell in a Cell match together. I don't know if you remember, but I believe Undertaker and Brock Lesnar had a Hell in a Cell match back in No Mercy of 2002, I believe. They were in a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
And now they're going to go at it again in a Hell in a Cell match. I believe they just made history. They made two opponents that wrestled in the Hell in a Cell match before are going to do it again in Hell in a Cell. So, yep, they announced that, and I'm going to see Undertaker and Brock Lesnar go at it. And not only that, at WrestleMania, I felt like that was the last time I would see Undertaker wrestle in person. Now I guess here in my hometown, Los Angeles, I'll see the Undertaker there. And will this be the last time? Who knows? But yeah, that's the main event I'm gonna get. And Kane and Seth Rollins, they just put that in there. Fuck it. All right, I guess we're done with Night of Champions. All I gotta say is we'll take another commercial break, and when we come back, we'll talk some Raw and maybe a season 2 of something that's coming up. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, this is Pikachu, and I'm challenging WrestlingHeads Radio to a Pokemon battle. Boom, baby.
Okay, I guess now other plugs won't work, only Sue Young, but fuck it. We're back on WrestlingHeads Radio. We're going to talk some Raw now. Tom, what do you thought of Raw tonight?
I thought it was an okay episode. I say that I say it every single week, where it's like there's some good, some bad, some really bad. But there's definitely some things on here that were, really good, like the New Day. That like I said, that was the highlight of Raw. I'll talk more about it once we get into it, but goddamn, the New Day is so entertaining, and so is Rusev.
Yeah,
so damn entertaining.
Yeah, we'll talk about the New Day for a bit, but I want to talk about another group that's opened up Raw, the Wyatt family. They came out on their mouths because they beat Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, and then basically they came out, Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose, and then they freaking started attacking them, and then we saw the return of, who was pretty much only gone for 2 weeks, Randy Orton. He came down and then helped out Roman and Dean to take out the Wyatt family, and which they did, and then what it looks like to me now, where they're going forward, is possibly another 6-man tag, and this time they add Randy Orton in there. That's what it looks like to me for Hell in a Cell. I don't know if it's going to be a Hell in a Cell 6-man tag. But yeah, I mean, that's what looks like where it's going. Hell in a Cell, White family against Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Randy Orton. That's how they open up with a brawl with all those 6 guys getting on. Tom, what you thought about that opening segment of Raw?
I liked it. I thought it was really good because it was something different. You know, Bray Wyatt cut a quick promo. Roman Reigns interrupted. They had a brawl. Dean came out, and they're brawling some more. It wasn't even like you said, it wasn't even an official match. It was just a brawl. And then Randy Orton came out. So I liked it. It was a different way to open Raw. You know, it wasn't a Seth Rollins 20-minute promo. It wasn't a 20-minute Authority promo. It was something that, you know, it wasn't the most exciting thing, but it was, you know, something different. And variety is also really key to keep people watching. So I liked it. Another 6-man, you know, I mean, how many times are you going to keep doing 6-man tags with these guys? It's whatever, but you know, should be still okay. You know, all the guys are. It shouldn't be terrible, but I think there could be more, but I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, we'll open up again. The first match, which was the rematch of the pre-show match from last night. You know, Stardust and Ascension going against Neville and the Lucha Dragons. And this time, they turned around and Neville and the Lucha Dragons defeated Stardust and the Ascension. That match, I say, was a little boring. Probably a little bit better than yesterday's match. Oh, yeah, last night's match. And basically just a rematch. That's about it. I really don't have no much comment on it, but I'm glad Neville won this one. There, Tom, what you thought about that match?
I thought it was, you know, like okay. Spotlighted Kalisto, so that's fine. I don't know where Neville's going to go, but right now he's just like lost in the shuffle, and I have a feeling he's going to be like that for a while, and it's a shame that he's not really in a bigger feud. You know, I guess he was kind of feuding with Stardust, and it's been going on for a little bit, but I don't know. It was okay. You know, kind of boring, but nothing too bad.
Yeah, right. I know. Right now they're still in the little feud going on with Stardust, and we'll see how long this thing is going to end. Yeah, we'll see. All right. Next match. Well, actually, a little backstage segment happened. Seth Rollins went to the Authority's office, but instead of the Authority saw Corporate Kane. He came out and he said he was all happy that he's all happy that he got his job back and he's ready to go back to work from an injury he had suffered from Brock Lesnar. And then he put in a match with Seth Rollins that he gets his United States title rematch against John Cena, and it's going to happen later on Raw. So that's what's going down, and pretty much Kane is. Well, right now, I just heard right now the Abyss has just tweeted that they're stealing the Joseph Park and Abyss storyline. They're what they're doing with Kane. It's basically they just stole that storyline. Tom, what's your thoughts of this comments about WWE stealing that storyline with TNA did a couple years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. I thought a company did this before, where they had kind of split personalities. I'm trying to think of another. I'm pretty sure this was done before Joseph Parks and Abyss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just have a feeling, but I can't think of one.
Yeah, it happened also on TNA with Dustin Rhodes and his TNA character Black Rain. Something like that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, because he did that during the Attitude Era for a little bit, where he turned from gold dust into blue dust and all these different sort of things. But I know this is done before. I don't think it's an original, it's not a TNA idea. Could it be WWE? Could you call it a ripoff? Maybe. I wouldn't necessarily call it a ripoff, but some people like to think that any storyline that's happened in one company in the past and then another company uses it, that means that they're stealing it. So, whatever. I thought it was funny. Kane was definitely pretty entertaining tonight. So I like it, whether it's a ripoff or not. It doesn't matter. The Abyss Joseph Park thing, I thought was good. I think it went on a little bit too long. So hopefully that doesn't happen with this. That Abyss Joseph Park thing was a year plus when it shouldn't have been. But we'll see how this goes. Like I said, hopefully after Hell in a Cell they kind of get Kane, out of main event matches and stuff like that. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely. Also, the next match, your favorite, Bo Dallas, went at it against Ryback, and Kevin Owens, in a familiar situation, was doing commentating with Michael Cole and JBL and Brian Saxon, which we all remember. He used to do commentating in PWG back in the day. Basically, what they're showing off is their Intercontinental title. Supposedly disrespected the legends that carry the title. He don't care about the other guys who carry the title, like Ultimate Warrior or stuff. And then, it was basically watching Ryback's and Bo Dallas' matches. Pretty much Ryback destroyed Bo Dallas. Tom, well, let me ask you this. I know that I have no comment with the match, but I'm going to ask you this, though. This whole Kevin Owens and Ryback thing, how long do you think it's going to be?
I think it ends at Hell in a Cell. Either it could even end before that if they decide to do the rematch, on a Raw before it. But if they do decide to make the match official for Hell in a Cell, I think it ends there. I don't see Ryback winning back the Intercontinental Championship. I see somebody else moving on to challenge Kevin Owens. Who could it be? I don't know.
Maybe a Neville.
Maybe there's definitely a good amount of people that could challenge Owens and have a good feud and have some good matches. So I don't see Kevin Owens losing the Intercontinental title anytime soon. He was hilarious on commentary tonight. He's so fucking awesome. The guy brings such a light to a dark and dim Raw, each and every week. And it's, I don't know Vince McMahon, and I don't know some of the other higher power people in WWE. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what their exact thoughts on some people are because, I don't know them. But I truly do hope they see how entertaining and how over Kevin Owens is, because he's getting reactions every single week. Whether it's cheers, whether it's boos, he always gets a reaction. And that's what you want from somebody. You don't want people chanting, boring or excuse me, or stuff like that during a match. He always is, people I think are always paying attention to when he's on TV or when he's having a match. So I just hope that somebody up there in the higher position really notices that this guy truly is a key asset to WWE now. And it's great to see, and it's great to see him as Intercontinental Champion. like I said, I remember when he won his first Ring of Honor World title. I remember when he won the PWG World title. I remember when he was teaming in a singlet with El Generico, and now he is, Intercontinental Champion. So it's surreal to see, and hopefully it leads to good stuff going forward. You still there?
Okay. I'm here. Sorry, my shit was still on mute. Like, oh shit. All right, sorry about that. All right. All right. Next match. I'm trying to. No, actually, well, not a match. I think I want you to comment. The Divas thing. Charlotte and well, actually, they said all the PCB were right there, celebrating Charlotte's win, Divas title win, and then Ric Flair was right there, bringing out the, being the proud dad and all that stuff, and he was crying and because his daughter won the title and all that stuff. And Charlotte just had her moment there. And then all of a sudden, Paige came out. She pretty much dropped her own version of a pipe bomb there, and this is the whole the Divas division. And talking smack about Summer and Lana. I don't know what spot they'll be on, and then you got, running them up on Natalia, and then doesn't know where she's, is she even employed in the WWE anymore, and then basically told Charlotte, you're going to lose your Divas title again to the Bellas, they're married to and all this stuff. And, she pretty much put on her own pipe bomb and basically just turned heel on Charlotte, pretty much. Tom, what do you thought of Paige's pipe bomb?
First of all, I have to say, can we stop calling it a pipe bomb? Like, every time someone cuts a little promo with, breaking down a little bit of the fourth wall or some of the things that internet fans have been thinking, everyone calls it a pipe bomb. I don't want to call it that. And like I said, even CM Punk said on the podcast with Colt Cabana that he hates the word pipe bomb, and he was the one who started that whole thing. So let's stop calling it a pipe bomb. But it was definitely interesting. I think everybody saw Paige turning heel sometime soon. So I thought it was funny. It was just her shitting on the Divas. She shit on Charlotte, Becky Lynch, the Bellas, Natalia, and everybody else. So I thought it was funny. It's going to be interesting, to see, Paige versus Charlotte going forward. We're probably going to get a Paige Becky Lynch match. So it's definitely interesting. It's definitely it's more interesting than what's been happening with this whole stupid Divas Revolution storyline that they have going on. That just completely freaking failed, and because we said it every single week how disastrous it was. But it was just like I said, it was a little edgy promo. Nothing. Not too much of a pipe bomb, people. So let's chill out a little bit. And like I said, with the Divas now, it's okay, yeah, something interesting happened tonight, but then by next Monday night, things could go back to being boring. You know what I mean? It's 1 week something interesting could happen, but then the next week it could go back to being really boring.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see. I'm actually a little surprised that Paige was turning heel. I didn't see that coming, but maybe they're changing something now. Maybe they're starting to break up all those teams that you say you want to see. Part of this whole PCB, Team Bella, Team Bad Thing is going to end now. So probably starting with the whole Paige heel turn. Well, we'll see where it goes. Maybe it'll go to a Hell in a Cell match. But don't forget, Nikki Bella still got her new match clause, but she had not yet announced when will it be. And then this will lead to a match between Brie Bella and Charlotte, which this time, once again, I don't know. The Bellas are like, I don't know, when they come to ring work, they don't entertain me at all. I mean, even with Charlotte in there, which I really like, and which I always want to see a Charlotte Paige match down the road, but we don't know when that will ever happen. I mean, when will it happen? Sorry, I said ever happen, but when will it happen? I mean, it would have been great on NXT before Paige went to the main roster. But we'll see. I mean, it's going to be something interesting. But fortunately, Charlotte beat Brie Bella with the figure 8, and it's funny that when they beat her, it seemed like Brie Bella was crying after the match, and because her makeup was like all ruined and shit. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah. What's your thoughts on your matchup of Charlotte and Brie Bella?
It was okay. There's really nothing more to say about that. It was all right, yeah. Brie Bella's not the best, so Charlotte did what she could.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I know this didn't go right away, but we had to bring this up. But later on, Natalia actually came up to stage, and she said, "Yeah, I still work here." And she also has a match, and then she's gonna wrestle against Naomi. So then it seems like she had something to prove or something. And I think I like this match better, Naomi and Natalia. I wish their minutes they put them on more minutes because I know they could do better than that. But I was happy to see Natty back in the ring, and cause she's been out lately since her husband was injured. You know, probably gonna show it on Total Divas pretty soon. But Natalia came back, and her and Naomi went at it, and Naomi got the victory. And Natalia had to look like, oh shit, look, you know. So, tell me what you thought the return of Natalia, and where you think this is going.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see Natalia back. I don't know if it's going to lead to anything. It's interesting to see, Team Bad interfering. I don't know what to make of it. Maybe by next week we'll see more. But I agree with you. I think it was a little bit better than the Brie Bella Charlotte match. But I think having Natalia back in there could add. You could do Natalia versus Paige, which could end up being a good match. Now that Paige is healed, you could do even a couple of tag matches. You could do like Paige and Sasha Banks versus like Natalia and like Becky Lynch, or you have different possibilities now. So it definitely adds new matchups that we haven't seen before. So creates a good dynamic.
Yeah, definitely. I guess we're done with talking about the Divas. We'll see what all the Divas stuff leads to. But yeah, I would love to see another Charlotte and Natalia match. I remember that great match at NXT a while back. So we'll see what happens. All right. Trying to see what's next. Big Show against Cesaro, which it was pretty alright. Cesaro doing his little uppercuts and everything. They had that spot outside. Cesaro, man, look how strong he is. Freaking picked up the Big Show, especially suplexed him when the Big Show was in apron and did a full suplex on him. That was freaking amazing. But it led to the end of the match where they both got up and the Big Show moved that weapon of mass destruction, whatever, and he beat Cesaro with it. And basically, they did that just to show you, make the Big Show look strong, I guess you can say, against his match against Brock Lesnar at that Madison Swiss Card special for the WWE Network. it was. That's basically what the Big Show did. I mean, basically that's what they did for the Big Show, make him look strong. And he sent a little message to Brock Lesnar, and he did mention that how he beat Brock Lesnar in Madison Square Garden for the WWE title, and trying to do it again. And yeah, that's basically what Big Show put out there. So Tom, what you thought of Cesaro and Big Show?
Yeah, it was definitely cool to see the one suplex apron spot by Cesaro. It just sucks because it's like, okay, I understand they have to make Big Show at least look somewhat strong going into the match against Lesnar at MSG, but it's like, why Cesaro? Like Cesaro's been beaten by the Big Show like 3 separate times, and it's just like, what is happening? And I knew this was going to happen to Cesaro after the whole U.S. title thing. We thought like he was going to have some momentum and lead to something good, and it didn't. The guy is back to just excuse me. He's back to just losing every week, and yeah, he's on TV, but it's just like, come on, you can't do something more with this guy. You can't put somebody else in to get beat by the Big Show. But, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, because, like I said, to try to make him look like the Big Show strong, going up to the match against Brock Lesnar, and I guess they had to pick Cesaro. So, that's where they went up to. All right, I don't know if we want to talk Mark Henry and Sheamus, but Sheamus did beat Mark Henry. I don't know if we didn't go to there. I'm trying to see something else. The Dudley Boys and Dolph Ziggler did beat New Day and Rusev. Freaking, I had to say during that match, freaking Xavier Woods was fucking what's it called? The fucking I mean, I know it's not a saxophone. I know it's not a flute. Trumpet, whatever. They playing the Cesaro. I mean, it's not a Cesaro. Rusev's music on there. Yeah, fucking Summer Rae doing helping him out, pulling out that freaking pipe part of it, and didn't look right, but oh well, she's doing it. Yeah, he keeps blowing the horn and getting annoying. So that's what happened. I know you were so entertained with that for the New Day, but unfortunately, I think the Dudley Boys and Dawson won that match. And like I said, they announced that freaking the Dudley Boys and New Day going at it at the Madison Square Garden special. And that's what's going to go down. Trying to see something else happen there. I think that's about it. And then we can go to the main event. Main event, it was John Cena defending his title against Seth Rollins. This time, this one was not like last night. It wore down a bit, you can say. You know, Seth Rollins not doing any more crazy spots like he did on Night of Champions. And basically, John Cena beat Seth Rollins fair and square on this one. He beat him clean. And then this led to Kane coming out, and he went out of the ring, and then he took Seth Rollins to hell with him, you can say. And this is showing me this is probably the end of the whole John Cena and Seth Rollins rivalry. Now they're moving on with John Cena doing something else, and then now you have Seth Rollins going against Kane at Night of Champions. That's what it looks like to me. And Tom, what you thought of that match and the ending of Raw?
Yeah, you know, like I said, going back to the New Day really quick, like I said, Xavier Woods, if he doesn't win, like, every single award, he should win the Slammies, he should win the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Awards, he should just win everything. He was entertaining. I like the whole dynamic of New Day and Rusev. They were so freaking entertaining. Oh, my God. And even Summer Rae, adding Summer Rae in there was hilarious. Her catching the trombone at the end. Great stuff. Ending of Raw, it was a good match between Cena and Rollins. not as good as, last night's match, and I didn't expect to. A lot of slow moments, definitely a lot slower pace. It was still good though. But Kane dragging Seth Rollins to hell at the end was fine, But like I said, it also, like I said, it's going back to what I was saying when we were talking about Night of Champions. Cena has pinned Rollins clean twice. 1, 2, 3, middle of the ring. It just doesn't make sense to me why he would do that and then not think he could win the world title. Why, in kayfabe sense, why isn't he the number one contender for the world title? It's definitely a little odd to me, but it was funny seeing Kane dragging Seth to hell. And what I mean by that is seeing all the different GIFs that people were posting. Like a big shout out to Death to All Marks, who tweeted out, this is what happens when you cheat on your fiance with a Nazi sympathizer. I thought that was
oh
that was
my
a little
God.
funny. It was pretty funny. And see, that's what happens. You cheat on your fiance with Zara, with a girl who gets in trouble, and Kane drags you to hell. So that's a lesson to you kids. But we've seen Kane drag 100 million people to hell. We've seen it done before. It was nothing new. But like I said, at least it was something different. If I could say a positive thing about it, it was something like different to end the show. We haven't seen it done in a while, so at least it was a different way to end the show. Because like I said, every week the beginning and the ending of Raw is like the same thing over and over again. So I'll take any sort of variety, even if it's something we've seen in years past. I'll take it if we haven't seen it in a while. So it was fine. But like I said, this whole Kane going for the title thing is just like, my God, it's 2015. Like, can we move on? But I digress.
Yeah, I mean, I was not up for it, but unless that's not the main event, oh well. Well. All right, before we give out our plugs, I just want to announce that an announcement had been made earlier today. Lucha Underground announced that Season 2 is coming 2016. That's all they put out there. They didn't put any dates of future shows or anything like that. But, yeah, Lucha Underground just did tweeted that Season 2 is coming in 2016. Tom, your thoughts of Lucha Underground's announcement?
So damn pumped. I've been missing Lucha Underground on my Wednesdays, and it seems like they're going to stay with El Rey Network from what I was reading. It's not official yet, but from some of the reports, it looks like they're staying in Boyle Heights and keeping with the El Rey Network, so that's good. I need to check out more of the El Rey Network because I know they have a lot of horror movies on there and a lot of cult classics, so I need to check out El Rey Network more. And if you're into that,
they just played La Fama the other day, and they played some Godzilla movies and shit.
Yeah, so it's like the type of network I would watch on the weekend at like 1 a.m, like just to watch like a old movie or something. So I need to check out that. But like I said, I'm so pumped. I can't wait to see what they have planned. I can't wait to see what they have up their sleeve because I'm sure they got a lot up their sleeve. These people are creative as hell, so they got probably big plans coming. But it's good to see. We figured there was going to be a season 2, but we weren't like 100% sure. But it's always good to see the verification, because it throws all doubt out the window. So I can't wait for season 2. I can't wait to see, all the guys, all the typical guys back. Hopefully they bring in some new talent, mix some things up. But it's going to be really interesting to see what storylines they can come up with season 2. Yeah, like I said, couldn't be more excited. Can't wait to see more Pentagon and Phoenix and all the AAA guys and all the SoCal guys on there as well. It's great to see them back. And like I said, who knows who else they can bring in. We'll probably see a bunch of new talent. That's all. Like I said, it's crazy because we're getting a lot of the AAA talent coming to the United States and Canada more. Pentagon's going to be up in Smash Wrestling and AAW this year, so they're getting more U.S. bookings, which is good because people want to see him breaking arms. So the more arms broken, the better.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait. I'm just waiting for some kind of announcement when they do the next taping so I can start heading out there and watch the show again. I miss those fucking taco trucks like I told Fitness B on Thursday. All right. This Thursday on our show, Eli Aerosfly will be back. He'll be on the show. He got some shows coming up. Like on Friday, he'll be at Santino's going against Tyler Bateman, and also he'll be part of that AWS show. Their final show for a while. They'll be part of that, and I think he's doing more like IWL on October 3rd. And maybe we'll talk about his appearance on Total Divas. But Eli is coming back on WH Radio on Thursday, so you don't want to miss that out. All right, I guess time we should give out our plugs. You guys can follow us at WrestlingHeads here on Twitter, Instagram. You can just follow us on there. Also, you just go check out WrestlingHeads.com. Skits is always on there, putting out posters and all that stuff. He's doing a lot of work on the website, so yeah, just check out WrestlingHeads.com. If you haven't, then subscribe us on YouTube, youtube.com/WrestlingHeads. Also support us at ProWrestlingTees.com/WrestlingHeads. Our new design, the WrestlingHeads versus Everybody's out on there right now. You can design there. So if you want a WrestlingHeads versus Everybody shirt, you should go to ProWrestlingTees.com right now /WrestlingHeads, and you'll find it there. And yeah, you can follow me at Sinister632 on Twitter and Instagram. And Periscope. WrestlingHeads and my own have a Periscope, so you want to follow us on there too. Because you never know what I'll be. We'll be at a PWG ring, who knows? But you should do that. All right, go ahead, Tom.
Yep, you can follow me on Twitter at @2tweetme. That's my personal account. Pretty sure my Periscope is the same thing. So follow me there. I'll follow back. I don't Periscope a lot, but I'll be sure to follow you, and hopefully I start Periscoping soon. But we'll see. Make sure you guys are checking out everybody else on the Elite Podcast Network. First, follow Elite Podcast Network at Elite Podcast Net. Weekly Wrestling Podcast at Weekly W Podcast. I know Indie Power Rankings coming up tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern, I believe, starting with the Carolinas Quarter. Then I believe Matt Grant will be on at 9 Eastern. And then Tag Team Top 5 Reveal, I believe, as every week on Wednesday, 3 o'clock Eastern. So make sure to check that out. Brand new Wrestling with Myself with Scotty O'Shea dropped last week, so be sure to check that out. Always a fun listen with hacker Scotty O'Shea. So new Uncle Mike and Tom show released last week as well. Eyes on the Ring every single Sunday. I know they had an episode last night talking Night of Champions and reactions from the pay-per-view. So be sure to listen to them. A lot of stuff going on here. Make sure you guys are keeping up with your good old indie promotion stuff, smartmarkvideo.com, highspots.com, Smash On Demand, AAW Archives, AAW On Demand, Progress On Demand, New Japan World, and speaking of New Japan World, to anybody who was interested, there's a show going on. It is going to be early Wednesday / late Tuesday. It's going to be Destruction in Okayama. I'm not sure exactly when it's starting. I believe 3 a.m. Eastern. Don't hold me to this. Usually New Japan shows start between 2 and 5 a.m. Eastern. So that's 11 to 2 Pacific. So anytime around that, you could probably find it if you look around or tweet at some people. They probably know. A bunch of good matches. You have, Liger and Mascara Dorada going against Red Dragon. Bullet Club, Bad Luck Fale and Tamatanga going against Tanahashi and Matt Sydal. Got a lot of tag matches going on because this is leading into the Destruction in Kobe, which is the 27th. But the main event, the two big matches on the show, is Kushida versus Kenny Omega for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, and Togi Makabe versus Kota Ibushi for the Never Openweight title. So two great matches to look forward to. Lots of good undercard stuff as well. A lot of good undercard matches to keep an eye out for. So if you don't have it, make sure to get New Japan World. It's on late, but you could watch it whenever. And big shows coming up for New Japan soon. And hopefully I can get back into watching it, because I haven't seen New Japan in a bit ever since the G1 ended, because they've been just doing house shows.
All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. Get yourself some New Japan World if you haven't gotten it yet. So, yeah, you should do that. All right. Well, you should listen to Thursday. I know we didn't get to ROH All-Star Extravaganza, but we'll talk about on Thursday after the Eli Arafai interview. All right. Well, guys, I guess, I don't say guy, you're the only guy with me because Skits is up there. He's not here tonight. But shout out to Skits anyways. All right. Well, I guess until Thursday, we are out. Peace, bitches.